So, you're inspired and want to try your hands at choreographing a poi or poi dance piece. Congratulations! You've got a long road ahead of you, and some steps are going to be more challenging than others, but one of the most challenging ones is usually one of the first ones. How do you select music that you choreograph to? What song should you pick, and what considerations should go into that choice? Friends, I've got you covered. Let's dive into choosing the song that's going to be the best fit for your work. Drex here from DrexFactor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And in this video, I'm going to take you through some thoughts on how you should go about selecting music to choreograph to. But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flowfests, Flow Toys, Paraterra Light Toys, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these awesome companies and the work they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links down in the description of this video. And special thanks to the non-business friend of the channel, Pekka Pekkonen. Thank you so very much for supporting my channel, my work, and my mission. So it needs to be said up front that choreographing is really hard any way you look at it, and music can be one of those things that adds to those difficulties. Pick a song that nobody likes, and it might mean that they have similar feelings about the piece you write to it. Pick one with the wrong vibe, and the whole piece might not work. At least, these are things that you might be telling yourself walking into it. The good news is that in the grand scheme of things, this isn't as big a choice as you think it is. But at the same time, there are some considerations, both practical and artistic, that go into a project like this. I've got a list of 5 that I'd like to share, but they are by no means the last word on how you make this choice. Just some guidelines to get you started. So let's dive in. Number 1. Match the setting. In determining what music to use for choreographing a piece, it's helpful to review what exactly this choreography is going to be used for. Is this something you're writing for a gig? Something you're going to bring to a fire festival? Or is it just for fun? If you're writing for a gig, you should really make sure your music fits the theme of the event. Whether that be carnival, cirque, in the club, or something else entirely, make sure to pick out music that fits that theme. There are lots of featured Spotify playlists that can help you find circus-themed music, dramatic instrumentals, European club music, and everything in between. Browse through them and see if you can find something that you like. If you're bringing a piece to a fire festival, a popular option I've seen a lot of has been to take instrumental versions of popular top 40 or rock tracks, or songs from genres that are in underground scenes that overlap with the flow arts. Think up-and-coming EDM genres, metal, and folk punk for a few. Once again, you can find Spotify playlists for the genre of your choice and pick out something you think is a good fit for what you have in mind. But what about if this choreography is just going to be for you? Well, then the music should also be something that pleases you yourself. Do you have a song that you just can't sit still to? One that conjures wonderful imagery to mind, or really just sums up the vibe you've been feeling lately? Sounds like a great pick to me. And if you have multiple songs that fit that bill and you just can't choose between them, then honestly just pick one. You can always do another one as a follow-up if you like what you came up with. Number 2. Don't be a hero. In narrowing down song options for your choreography, there is one really big criteria that I think should absolutely come into play as you're making your choice, and that is song length. Put simply, the longer the song is, the longer it's going to take you to choreograph a piece to it, and the more exhausting it will be to rehearse that choreography. In general, when you're starting out, I'd say it's essential to work with a song that's under 3 minutes, and if possible, keep it under 2. Trust me, you will thank me for this later, as this process takes so much longer than you think it does. As time goes on and you get more experience writing choreography, you can try doing it to longer pieces of music, and you'll have the skills to get you through that process. But if this is among the first pieces you've ever written, then do yourself a favor and don't be a hero. This is also as good a place as any to talk about how much of the song you want to choreograph to. If this is just going to Instagram or TikTok, there's a reason they try to keep snippets of a song to only 15 to 30 seconds. You don't need everything to be a novel, and the longer you go, the more likely both you and the audience will get bored with it. If, on the other hand, you're doing a professional gig and the contract says you have to fill a certain amount of time, then it's time to buckle down and do the thing. I've had performances that lasted for just a couple minutes and others that lasted upwards of 10. If you've got enough ideas to fill up a full song, then absolutely shoot for that. But otherwise, there's no reason to drive yourself crazy here. Keep it short and sweet. Both you and your audience will appreciate it. Number 3, matching the movements. So here's another big consideration in choosing the music. How easy is it for you to hear the beat in the song? Are there long sections where it becomes hard to keep track? Are there moments when the performers are stretching sections out that are a little hard to follow? In general, you want to steer towards songs that are a little bit more consistent to follow because it's going to make your job easier in keeping track of when a music cue is coming up. I have definitely performed to songs that'll get quiet or drop out entirely for a few seconds, and finding my way back, especially when I'm all hopped up on the adrenaline of being on stage, can be a huge challenge, and missing that cue can be really embarrassing. Set yourself up for success and choose something that won't have you stressing out when the beat is finally going to drop, or what number of the count you were on when the music got quiet. Unless this song is one that you just absolutely know backwards and forwards like the back of your hand, don't leave it up to chance. Go with something consistent that's easy to follow. Number 4, the Perils of Earworms. Okay, so more than likely, you've got a song in mind that you've listened to a lot in the past. And that can be a good thing because it's familiar, and more than likely, other people know it and like it too. But let me ask you this. How do you feel about listening to it over and over and over again for hours on end? See, the thing to bear in mind when you're writing choreography is that it is a very time-consuming process. I personally find that for every minute of final choreography that I had to invest at least an hour into writing the choreography for it and countless others rehearsing it. Even the most fun and familiar song can come to be obnoxious when it's all you've been listening to for hours on end while working through frustrating challenges in your choreo. So how do you avoid this problem? Your mileage may vary, but what I find is that there's something of a bell curve when it comes to music that I know and like. On one end of the curve are songs that are perennial favorites, songs that I can listen to anytime and anywhere regardless of my mood. I've had a relationship with them for years and will continue to for years into the future. On the other end are songs that I have a casual familiarity with. I know nothing about the artists that sing them, and I have very little investment in them beyond just thinking that they're pretty cool. It may seem kind of counterintuitive, but I actually find that the songs that work best for choreographing are those that fit at either of these ends of the spectrum. If they're a longtime favorite, then I don't mind listening to them for hours on end, and working through them with choreography can't change my relationship with them. If I'm only casually familiar with them, then I can let them go as soon as the project is done. I still listen to only a small handful of songs I've choreographed to over the years, and I'm good with that fact. In the center are things like super catchy earworms that everybody knows. Avoid those like the plague. The catchy bits that make them light and fun will also make them beyond obnoxious over time. Number 5, what moves you? Okay, so when push comes to shove, I think this is actually the single most important consideration of all. Does this song make you want to move? Actually, let me back up a step. So I think there are actually 2 very distinct but also important types of choreography. The first is something that more or less exists simply as a demonstration. This is a popular option for gigs and sometimes fire festivals, and all it requires is a song that's easy to follow and has a specific tempo. Technically, you don't even need music to write this kind of choreography. You're just putting together pieces to show off, and the music really isn't a big component of that. And there is nothing wrong with that. At the other end of the spectrum, there are pieces you choreograph that are supposed to be about something, that are meant to have an idea at their core and something that you want to communicate through them. And if you're creating that kind of choreography, then you want to pick music to back it that inspires you to move. You want to choose music that you have a hard time not moving to. That inspiration will carry you through those moments when writing or performing is challenging. It'll help keep your creative juices flowing and push you onwards when you get stuck. For me personally, the vast majority of what I write falls into this category. I hear a piece of music and the beat, the musical flourishes, or the lyrics themselves just set off something in my head where I can already see what the movement is supposed to be. This can also lead to a great deal of frustration when you find that your skills perhaps do not measure up to the picture that you have in your head, but that's a conversation for another time. Above all, look for music that awakens something inside of you that wants to create and be seen. You'll have a lot more fun and create much better work as a result. So how did you like that list, friends? Were there things that I left out? Questions you still have? Leave me a comment and let me know. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help other people find this video and to help my channel grow. This video would not have been possible without my amazing supporters on Patreon. In particular, I want to give a shout out to my Flow patrons who are listed up here on screen. Thank you all so much for supporting my work. You too can get your name listed up on screen along with a host of other awesome rewards when you sign up to support these videos over on Patreon at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi. Help me bring poi spinning and flow arts to the whole wide world. Thank you in advance. And if you'd like to learn more about choreographing without music, you should check out this other video I did on that topic at the link down in the description or up on screen. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you get out and flow yourself today, and I'll see you with a new video real soon. Take care now. Peace.